To our story. When a notorious racketeer was brought to trial, the public believed he would at last be found guilty of his crimes. But the racketeer had brought pressure to bear on the judge in his case. He and the judge's crooked secretary had framed the judge so that he was forced to free the racketeer or be disgraced. When the trial was halted for the judge's decision, Britt Reed assumed his role of the Green Hornet to carry out the ends of true justice. Home, Mrs. Grayson seeks for her husband.
John, what's troubling you?
It's nothing. Now, won't you please leave me? I have work to do.
All right, John.
I'm sorry to be so abrupt, but I must decide on this motion for Miss Trial tonight.
Your secretary, Creevy, is outside. Do you want him?
Creevy? No, I don't.
John, you won't do anything that isn't right, will you?
Of course not. I'm only doing my duty as a judge.
I just wanted to be sure. Good night, dear.
I could free Stefani right now so easily, and yet I know it isn't right.
Then why are you doing it?
What? Who are you?
If you free that racketeer Grayson, you won't be worthy of the position you hold.
You're wearing a mask. How did you get in here?
Through the French door.
If your motive is burglary, I will.
I'm not a burglar.
Then why are you here?
Grayson, have you ever heard of the Green Hornet?
The Green Hornet? You're the Green Hornet?
Precisely. What does that name mean to you?
Everything that's crooked. You're wanted for every crime up to murder.
Yes, I've never committed murder.
Don't.
Nor is that all, Grayson. The Green Hornet has never committed any crime. Unless you call bringing criminals to justice a crime.
The law takes care of criminals.
Sometimes there are criminals who evade the law. And that's when the Green Hornet steps in. And that's why I'm here now.
Stefani sent you here, didn't he?
Whatever... perhaps you're right, Judge. Maybe Stefani did send me here.
He's not content to hold those checks over my head as a threat. He sends you here in addition.
What checks are you talking about?
Don't pretend you don't know. Unless I grant Stefani a mistrial, those checks will be his means of having me disgraced. I'll be turned out of my position as judge.
I'm beginning to understand. Blackmail, eh?
Worse than blackmail. Those checks will convict me of accepting bribes, even though I never did.
You're entirely innocent of such a thing, is that it?
Of course I am. Yet Creevy and Stefani between them. But why repeat all this? If you're in with Stefani, you're familiar with his scheme already.
Who has those checks? Is it Stefani?
Stop all this pretense.
Answer me, who has those checks?
My secretary, Creevy. If he carried them with him, I'd be tempted to use force to get them back.
I see. He has them hidden someplace. His apartment, possibly.
I presume
You
so.
realize, Grayson, that it's your sworn duty to uphold the law regardless of any personal consequences that may follow?
I'm powerless to do anything. My wife is not well. Any disgrace may be fatal to her.
There's only one way to prove yourself an honest judge.
Why are you talking this way? You said Stefani sent you.
It was you who said that, Judge Grayson, not I. I'm here to aid justice.
You and Stefani can't trick me, Hornet. I know very well you're here for one reason. To make certain that I carry out Stefani's wishes.
Judge Grayson, I just came in to find out... Let me out of my way, Grayson. The Green Hornet. Let me go, Grayson.
No, you can't go after
Why
me.
not? Isn't that Creevy, your secretary?
Please, if you go out there, my wife will see you. She has a weak heart. It might cause serious complications.
In that case, Grayson, I'll follow Creevy another way. Through the French door, the same way I came in.
Thank heavens you didn't go out there.
But remember one thing, Grayson. Don't call the police.
I won't.
And whatever happens, keep this in mind. Nothing is going to halt Stefani's trial, not even you. His guilt or innocence is a matter for the jury to decide. I'm going to make certain the jury has that chance. What are you doing here at this time of night, Creevy? Thought you were over at the judge's home. I just came from there, Stefani. Something happened. You mean Grayson's going to let me out? No, it ain't that. Listen, Stefani. I walked into Grayson's study without knocking, understand? Sure. I bothered to be polite to him when we got him on the spot, huh? It's nothing to laugh about. Do you know who was there? How could I? The Green Hornet. What? The Green Hornet? In with Grayson? I recognized him. That mask he wears. Just like the pictures in the paper. Did he get you? No, he started for me, but I slammed the door. I came over here as fast as I could. The Hornet's in on this. We better watch out. That guy's dynamite. You are not telling me anything new. He might blast our scheme wide open. But I can't figure it, Stefani. Who's he working for? All I know is he ain't working for us. We gotta do something, Creevy, fast. That's why I came here. Did you bring them checks? Oh, don't worry about them, Stefani. They're safe in my apartment. That? What do you mean, safe? As long as that Hornet's around, nothing's safe. Yes, you're right. What shall I do?
Get over to your place and bring the checks back here.
Okay.
I'll call Sheriff and have him start putting more pressure on Judge Grayson. We gotta have Grayson set me free in a hurry before something goes haywire.
Once Grayson declares that mistrial, you're all set, Stefani.
Never mind that talk. Get moving. For all we know, the Hornet may be at your place right now.
After trailing Creevy to Stefani's place in the Black Beauty, Britt Reed stayed only long enough to watch Creevy enter. Then he spun the wheel and headed for the secretary's apartment. Arriving there before Creevy, he picked up the telephone.
Who are you calling, Mr. Britt? I'm calling the police, Tito. I want to get some news to them before Creevy arrives. Meanwhile, you get busy and give this apartment the appearance of having been burglarized. Pull out drawers, upset things.
Yes, sir.
Hello, police department? I got a little tip for you. Slip Stefani is going to try to jump bail tonight. Now, never mind who's calling. Watch Stefani. He's planning to run out on his trial. It's time enough for me to act before the police trace this phone.
Is Stefani run away?
Well, Stefani doesn't know it yet, Cato, but he'll try to run away very soon. As soon as he learns that we have those checks.
Shall I look for them, Smith?
Oh, we won't look for the checks, Cato. We'll let Creevy locate them for us. They're the first things you'll look for when he sees how upset his place is. Now put out the lights, and we'll wait for him to arrive.
Britt Reed and Cato hid themselves behind the drapes in Creevy's apartment. Then a short time later...
Quiet, Cato. Someone's coming in.
Gotta find those checks before anybody gets at them. Where's that light switch? What the devil? The place is in a mess. The Green Hornet must have been here already. If he found those checks, the game's up. Look in the drawer where I kept them. Why, they're here. Checks just like I left them. Well, I guess the Green Hornet didn't have anything to do with this.
Hand over those checks, Creevy.
The Green Hornet?
That's exactly right. You recognize me in Judge Grayson's study.
Who are you working for, Hornet?
For Justice, Creevy, but you wouldn't understand that.
You can't talk to me that way. I'm Judge Grayson's secretary.
You're a crook, Creevy. You're working for Stefani. But this is one time you won't get away with your little plan.
How do you know about it?
Never mind that. Are you giving me those checks?
You want them, Hornet?
Hands out! Careless, Creevy. Your aim was bad. You take it.
Yes. I can't breathe.
He's out. Yeah, I didn't figure on using gas on him. I thought he'd surrender those checks without any fuss.
Your checks.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, they're made out to cash, deposited in Judge Grayson's account. Yeah, there's no doubt that if these were made public, it would mean the end of Grayson's career.
That mustn't happen.
That's up to Grayson himself. If he can't decide to do the right thing regardless of consequences, he doesn't deserve to be a judge. I'll keep these checks handy.
I see.
We'll see Grayson presently. First, I'll call Stefani and let him know what's happened. He's expecting a call from Creevy, so he may be a little surprised when he finds out who it is.
Hello?
Stefani?
Yeah, who's talking? This you, Creevy?
No, this isn't Creevy, but I'm calling from his place.
Why don't Creevy call? Put him on the phone.
That's impossible. You see, I just had to give Creevy a shot of gas to get certain bits of paper from him.
Creevy's been gassed. Hey, who is this? Who's talking?
This is the Green Hornet.
Who you kidding?
What's more, I have those checks. The game's up, Stefani. You're finished.
No, listen, Hornet. I'll pay you for them checks. I'll pay you plenty. Only don't give them to Judge Grayson.
You better start running, Stefani. There's a long stretch in jail waiting for you if you don't. He'll start running, all right. Directly into the hands of the police. They'll make sure he doesn't get away from his own trial.
Yes, sir.
I'll be interested to learn how Judge Grayson acts when he finds that Stefani has attempted to skip out.
When the news of Stefani's attempt to jump his bail reached the ears of the reporters, they immediately rushed to Judge Grayson's home and clamored for a statement.
Stefani got nabbed by the cops trying to get away.
How about a statement from the judge, Mrs. Grayson? Will this make any difference in the motion for a mistrial?
Here's Judge Grayson now.
Emily, what are these reporters doing here at this time of night?
Judge, Stefani was just caught trying to leave town.
Does that mean he has inside information?
The only reason he'd leave would be if you decided to continue the trial.
Is that it, Judge?
I cannot give my decision on that until court opens tomorrow morning. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to my study.
But, Judge...
Mrs. Grayson will show you out. Good night.
We'd better be in court tomorrow, Lowry.
You said it, Clicker.
You'll have to leave, all of you.
All right, come on, Clicker, let's go.
I can't understand it. Why should Stefani do a thing like this when he's sure of his release?
Perhaps he isn't sure.
What? You've come back again. What is it this time?
I've been waiting here in your study, Judge, while those reporters were outside trying to interview you.
Is this more of Stefani's work?
I don't know what you mean.
He isn't fool enough to try to jump bail while he has those checks.
Suppose the checks were gone. Suppose they weren't in his possession any longer.
But that's ridiculous.
Is it?
Look here. If Stefani thinks he has me in the palm of his hand completely enough for a farce like this, he's mistaken. He's gone too far.
What are you going to do about it?
You weren't pointing that gun at me.
My gun is used only for my own protection. I can't afford to be captured.
I can well believe that.
You haven't answered my question yet. How about Stefani? Does his trial go on?
If it's any of your business, Stefani's trial will go on.
Even if it means your disgrace?
Do you see this envelope on my desk?
Yes.
That envelope contains my resignation. I wrote it an hour ago, before I knew Stefani was going to run out.
Why?
Because I had decided that Stefani's case would go on. After that, I shall resign. This envelope contains my statement.
Open it up.
Why should I?
And if you won't, I'll open it for you. Look inside.
Why, that's not my resignation. It looks like... These are the canceled checks. The ones Stefani threatened to use against me. Where did they come from?
I put them there.
You?
I came here to make certain Stefani's trial would go on.
You read my resignation.
While you were outside with the reporters. That resignation was proof that you intended doing the honest thing, Judge Grayson. Proof that you refused to aid lawbreakers.
I always shall, no matter what the consequences.
And that's why I removed that resignation, Judge Grayson. There's no longer any need for you to resign.
I don't know what to say. How to thank you.
Earn those checks, Grayson, and you'll have nothing to fear. As for thanking me, I'll have all the thanks I need when Stefani gets what's coming to him.
He will. The jury will see to that.